and the Laxe. Thank you so much for being here with us. As I mentioned in my introduction, we were so excited to host a one-week Oscar qualifying run back in the fall, and it feels like we've come full circle now that the film is having a full release, and we're delighted to be in New York again. I wonder if you could start by taking us back to the beginning of your creative process. I'm curious if you could just sort of paint a picture of when and how the seeds of this film were planted, and what sort of was the inciting idea or spark that gave rise to the sort of sui generis film that resulted.
My creative process is really visceral. It's you understand? So it's difficult to make. I'm not a filmmaker of ideas like most of the filmmakers, you know. It's easy when you are a filmmaker of ideas to make archaeology, you know. But in my case, it's I don't know. It's making films for me. In a way, I heal my wound. I look inside. I'm a filmmaker of images, so few images appear, you know, and I'm a junkie of images. When I want to shoot an image, I can do everything, you know. And after, as I said, my creative process belongs to a kind of self-discoverment or personal process of knowing myself. And I don't know, I was living in Morocco. I arrived, I was 23 years old, 20 years ago, or 15, I don't know. I felt a lot of, a high level of acceptation and detachment in the people. I remember people are surrounded by death more than in Europe, you know, and they have tools to transcend death, to accept death, to meditate death, to experiment death, and I felt myself really a child, you know, complaining and with my pseudo problems, you know. So I understood. I felt that I needed to have a practice, you know, a spiritual practice, and the death is central in spirituality. After I understood one sentence that they were saying when someone passed away, they say, "Inna lillahi wa inna ilaihi raji'un." That means we come from God and we come back to God. They also say, when God loves you, He breaks you.
I'm curious if there were images that you say you think in images, you think imagistically, which is absolutely, I think, translates to the finished product. Every single frame of the film is sort of an indelible image. And I'm curious if there were particular images that fueled the creation of the story. If you knew there was going to be a father and a son, or it sort of found...
That was later.
Okay.
Yeah. One of the essential images, structural images or scenes, was the moment when this woman, Stefania, this Italian woman who lives in Spain, she's attracted by her music. She goes to a kind of small house, you know, back and lot, and she's seeing the, you know, people, the houses surrounding Kaaba in Mecca, and from this we go to the road. We have these white lines of the road, and we see the trucks deserting. Can I say deserting? Yeah. With the techno. So going from Quran, that is recited by a friend of mine, Ali Killer, is a Scottish converted to Islam. His voice is angelical. So going from Quran to techno was the essence of the project, in a way.
I mentioned in my intro, the film has been nominated for the Oscar for Best Sound, and I think the sound of the film is so sort of visceral. It's so, the way that the bass line kind of gets under your skin, it really works its way into you as a viewer, and to the point where I think sound itself takes on sort of a grander symbolic or philosophical dimension in the film. And I'm curious if that was part of your process of developing the soundscape of the film. If it was could you speak a bit about that process?
It's I'm a filmmaker of taste. If it's tasty, I know I'm going on the tasty for me, obviously. You have a sensitivity and you do the things that you like. And so working with sound, images, music, it's something really. I don't know. First, I really trust on that place, that temple. I mean, for me, sound is important. Even, the relation that a film, the complex relation between images and sounds and the body of these people, it's something mysterious. What is happening on a film, on a theater. Sorry. So first, this is important. The this is a place for catharsis. Did you die watching the film? A little bit, right? So, catharsis. It's good. It's good to die. It sounds healthy. We have to die more. So sound. We wanted that we feel it. The film. It was necessary to watch it with the body, with the skin. We wanted to. The body has memories. The body has. What can I say in English? I forgot the name, but through feelings we understand things. That's the thing of this is the ontology of cinema, And sometimes we watch a film and we are really critical with the film. It's too long. Oh, I don't like the ideology. But why 6 months after, when there is an image from this film that emerges in your body? Why? If it's a film that you don't like, from with heat. I mean, it's something complex, cinema. And so sound. We were working with Laia on the most structural dimension of the sound. I mean, we were making a sculpture. We shot in 60 millimeters. We use the same words for image and for sound. The grain of the sound, the grain of the sound, of the smoke, of the dust, the grain, the textures, the color, the brilliance, the rhythm. You use the same words for sound and for image. So that was the thing. I mean, I think that you don't know where the image ends and where the sound starts. It's really organic. It's really, yeah. I think. I mean.
I think that comes across in the effect. It almost feels like, as you say, you don't know where the image ends and the sound begins at certain moments.
And we were working 9 months. 9 months in the sound. This is not logic. I mean, it's not about. It's not that we are so sensitive or genius. No. It's just that we are digging, working, and trying, making mistakes, trying again. We are slow filmmakers. We take our time.
It's a film of incredibly sort of primal and profound feeling, as you say, the feelings that are sort of constructed via the sculpting of sound and image, which I think is interesting to consider in relation to the performance style of your actors. It's sort of very stripped down, very essential, almost minimalistic performance style.
The bone.
All really, I think the entire ensemble is
Sober.
Yeah, and I'm curious how you navigate the challenge of working within these really intense emotional registers while also keeping these performances that are stripped down to the bone, stripped, to the essence.
Again, we radically trust on the particular and genuine way that of the cinematic tools. And we trust on on this, and we trust on the spectators. We trust. I mean, people are more sensitive than usually people think. And I think life is complex and ambiguous, So I try to don't be too clear, It's easy to be clear when you write a script, But it's a balance, between what you want to say and what you want to evoke. If you want to say too much things, if you put too much your ego, your brain, your ideas on the images, you kill images. Images are not alive, and that's what we see, in cinema nowadays. I'm sorry, but there is too much influence from series, in cinema today. I mean, most of films, they don't have not one image, but an image. I'm not talking about, I mean, an image is something wild, with a lot of layers, the symbolism, the universal archetype. I mean, and I don't know what I wanted to say.
How did you assemble this cast? How did you?
We went to Rave, and we did a casting through Rave, Portugal, Spain, France, Italy. One was a friend, Vicky. He's a friend, and so we were looking for a family, and for truth. We like people. We try also to use actors, but I think this film was demanding truth and fragility. Actors are fragile, really fragile, but they hide it. Most of us, we hide, and so in our society, we hide fragility a lot. We have an idealistic image of ourselves. Ravers, they show the wound, they show the scars, and they dance their wounds. It's what I did making this film. I was celebrating my wounds, what's really healthy for me. And so yes, and after, again, I have time, so they came to my home. It was the first experience in front of a camera for them. So we were like 1 month and a half, 2 months living together, watching films, making rehearsals, living. Yeah.
I want to make sure I leave a little bit of time for audience questions, but I just have
Please.
to ask, could you just say a very brief word about the locations and this desert in which you shot, and how you, what your relation to these spaces was?
My relation is that when I'm there, I feel small, and I need this. I need that life puts me in my place, and my ego grows easily. So, and that place is when you are. I mean, these mountains in Morocco. You have this landscape here, also. You see how the planet was built. So you feel you are nothing in front. So you become a zero. That I think that is the healthy. You don't feel anguish in front of this landscape. You feel humble, and it's good. And the desert is more. The desert is interesting because you can't hide yourself. when you are there. You have to look inside. You are obliged to do it. To see, you see your limits. Your being is really concentrated because in the desert, if you make a mistake, you die. You know, so you are really, no.
On the knife's edge. We'll leave time for a few questions. Unfortunately, Eleanor has to run off to another Q&A soon, but we have time for probably 2 or 3, so keep your hand up high.
There is a micro that can go
Yes,
to the,
yes, come right
or
around.
we can share this.
Hi, that was a deeply upsetting.
Deep
That was really. My friend's working at Neon right now. He convinced me to come see this, and I really loved it. And I asked him before I saw this. I said there must be some inspiration from Wages of Fear, the film. I don't know if you've seen.
So I think this film has 3 layers: physical adventure, existentialist, and metaphysical adventure.
You know the movie I'm speaking of,
Yeah,
Wages
yeah,
of Fear?
Yeah.
I was just curious about your.
I understood.
Oh yes.
So for the physical adventure, for the genre, it was important to study films like Witches of Fear, Sorcerer,
Yeah.
Mad Max.
Yeah.
For the other layers, the inspirations were other. Sirât is a medicine. It's shock therapy, and the medicine is bitter. Sometimes it's bitter, but in the edge of the glass, we were adding a little bit of honey, you know, in order that you drink better. And this honey is the genre. It's the genre. It's the adventure film. It's the road movie. So I like when people tell me this. You know.
I see it. Yeah, I saw it through right when I saw the trailer for the first time. It triggered my dad showed me that movie at a very young age, so which maybe not I should have seen, but it really connected with me.
I'm happy because it's not easy we don't have the craft in Spain to make films like you do here. You have a tradition of making these films, you have the craft. For us also we have not much money, we had 7 weeks to shoot, so it's difficult. Each action scene, here you take 1 week to do 1 scene, you know. I'm happy that even if it's sober, the film, for example, when we have the explosions, we respect the point of view. You know, we are not shooting the explosions with 3 cameras and the drone and this, and you know, it's like from the point of view, and that's what probably is even more spectacular and tragic.
First, I want to thank you again for all your movies that I absolutely love, including Sirât. And I want to start by apologizing. I want to apologize for all the bad questions because I come to most of your Q&As and I listened to a lot of interviews and I read interviews where people were asking so many bad questions.
So let's talk about God. Please.
So, my stupid questions, my turn for my stupid question. You ask us if we died, and I want to ask you if you died each time you made a movie, including Sirât.
Yeah, we have to die before dying. Important to die, to rebirth. Yes.
So it's in.
For example, next film, now I feel my body is like bringing me to another cliff. And you are possessed by a next film. I mean, your body already know. I'm studying psychotherapy Gestalt, and we we use the body as a tool to feel things, understand things about you, your lineage, your transgenerational wound, and he's already telling me, let's die again.
Thank
It's
you.
funny, I'm meeting a lot of producers, good ones, really good ones. I mean, I won't say the names, you know, but and it's like, it's funny because I tell them that this, you know, okay, if you want to produce me, you have to jump with me. So it's a good casting, you know, it's like, you know, and with actors the same, you know, but they won't. People want to die. People need. I mean, we are becoming robots, you know, in a way. We're calculating everything, a lot of fear, a lot of, you know. And I like here you have courage. Yeah?
Thank you.
I see a hand all the way in the back. Sorry, Dan. Sorry, keep your hand up. Yeah.
Thank you so much. So I loved the movie. My question is, what do you think about this is just reading online, but the kind of polarized reaction to the movie of some either loving it or some really hating it? And what do you think specifically about the criticism around maybe shooting the movie in an active war zone?
I didn't understood the last things that you said. Can
Oh,
you
sorry.
repeat?
This is from what I've read, that maybe some of the movie was taking place in an active war zone, and that's where some of the criticism comes from. I don't know what your reaction to that is.
You said Iran?
Active war zone?
So two questions. The first question, I think that film transcends the category of I like or I don't like. You know, as an author, I'm really calm, listening even the critics of the film. You know, obviously, we are, as human beings, we have a kind of tool of psychological self-defense, that is the projection. When this film obliges you to look inside, it pushes you to look inside. So, and it's tough to look inside. It's painful to look inside. So, when you don't want to look inside, what you do is you project outside. And when I listen to the people, I see this, because it's normal. I mean, it's not funny to die. It's heavy. I mean, it's shock therapy. This film, I understand that people are like, I mean, come on, I'm coming to the cinema. You know, I don't want to die. I mean, it's normal. when I listen, like, I'm carrying the film since May, since Cannes, so I share a lot. I listen a lot. Obviously, people who doesn't like don't speak too much to you. You know, unfortunately. But I think that the film is doing its job. Images are doing the job. You know, at the end, as filmmaker, is like I won't say a doctor, but a nutritionist. You know, so we know about images. We know what is an image. We know how an image can penetrate your body, and so it's, you know, so it's our job. Our job. Yes. And the second question, I don't know if I understood you, but as I said before, to be clear, it's easy on cinema. I think there is nothing more political than being poetical. You know, when you are too focused on being political, the effect is a little bit superficial. What cinema can make is, cinema can heal the collective imaginary. Cinema can, and so the question is how to go deep, to increase the level of conscience in the spectator. That is the most political thing. I don't know if you were asking this, but it's what.
Asking why film in a war zone? Did you film in an active war zone?
No, was not. an active war zone.
Okay, that was the question.
Okay. Thank you.
I think we could keep this conversation going, unfortunately.
One more.
I've been told that your car
One
is
more,
waiting.
please.
Just in the interest of not stressing out.
Yeah, we'll run.
If it's very quick, very, very short, yes, in the red there.
I come from far, so that's why I come.
Well, I'm honored that I got to have a chance to ask the last question, and thank you for being here. I guess my last question does tie to the ending of the movie and the shots we had of the journey, of the tracks, of the train, of the long extended shots of the car moving or the trucks moving. So my question for you is, I know that the movie is about not meeting, but a feeling or perceiving and the images having their effect. But I still want to understand what exactly you wanted to convey with those long shots of the journey. What does the journey mean to you? And what was the destination that you wanted to move the audience towards? What were you trying to convey with those long extended shots? That's my question.
Extended shots.
Yeah, like,
Yeah, I mean, I don't want to, I mean, it's true that we have to feel the films, but it's just a balance. It's not that we have to reject this level of perception. It's just we have to find a balance between this level of perception, the head, and the others. And I think the film suspends you this, you know. So I don't like to interpret much the film. I can talk you about my intention, as I think you are asking. And I don't know. I would like to evoke that we live on a magical world, you know, where everything, even if it's the worst accident, the most painful thing, has a meaning, has a reason. So in a way, that life, even if it's shaking us, is for good purpose, is to take care of us. That's what I radically feel in my heart.
thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.